You think you've seen betrayal in WWE? You think you've seen cold, calculated destruction? Then explain this why Randy Orton, the apex predator, chose Sami Zayn, a man who has already been through hell, and decided to make things even worse. What kind of message was Orton trying to send? And more importantly, who's next? Because what happened on SmackDown wasn't just an attack, it was a warning shot that shook the entire locker room. The arena was electric that night. Sami Zayn stepped into the ring with that same energy fans have come to love. Resilient, passionate, unpredictable. You could feel it. The crowd was behind him, chanting his name like he was about to start another underdog miracle run. But here's the question, do underdogs ever really win in WWE? Or are they just set up to fall harder? Sami grabbed the mic, breathing it all in, pacing slowly. You could see it in his eyes. This wasn't just another night. He had something to say. Something real. He started talking about redemption, about fighting back, about proving that no matter how many times you get knocked down, you get back up. But while Sami was pouring his heart out, someone was watching. Someone who doesn't care about redemption. Someone who doesn't care about fan support. Someone who only cares about striking at the perfect moment. Randy Orton. Let me ask you this, when Orton is silent, is that when he's most dangerous? Because out of nowhere, no music and no warning, the camera cuts, and there he is slithering down the ramp like a predator stalking wounded prey. The crowd reaction instantly shifts. Cheers turn into confusion, then fear. Sami doesn't even realize it at first. And that right there? That's what makes Orton different. He doesn't announce his presence. He doesn't give you a chance to prepare. He waits, calculates, and then strikes when your back is turned. Literally. Sami turns around and boom. RKO out of nowhere. The sound of Sami's head hitting the mat echoed through the arena like a gunshot. The crowd went absolutely insane. Some screaming, some cheering, some in complete shock. And Orton? He didn't celebrate. He didn't pose. He just stared down at Sami like he had just done what needed to be done. Cold. Emotionless. Ruthless. But here's where things get even more disturbing. He wasn't finished. Why wasn't one RKO enough? Orton slowly backed into the corner, that familiar look in his eyes, that voice in his head kicking in. You know the one. The crowd started buzzing. They knew what was coming. Sami was barely moving, trying to crawl, trying to understand what just hit him. And then, Orton starts pounding the mat. 1, 2, 3. That chilling rhythm that has ended careers. And just when Sami somehow managed to get to his knees, still dazed, still vulnerable. RKO again. Second impact. Even louder. Even more brutal. Now let me ask you this, was that necessary? Or was Orton trying to prove a point? Because this didn't feel random. This felt targeted. This felt personal. The commentators were losing their minds. Why Sami Zayn? What did Sami do to deserve this? But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe the real question is, who told Orton to do this? Because in WWE, nothing, especially something this calculated, happens without a reason. Orton stood over Sami again, but this time, he slowly crouched down, staring into Sami's eyes like he wanted him to understand something. No words, just silence. And somehow that silence said everything. Then he did something even more shocking. He grabbed Sami, pulled him up, just enough to whisper something into his ear. We couldn't hear it. The cameras couldn't pick it up. But Sami's face? Pure fear. What did Orton say? Was it a threat? Was it a message meant for someone else? Or was it a promise that this isn't over? Think about it. When was the last time Orton attacked without a reason? This is a man who plays chess while everyone else is playing checkers. So why Sami? Why now? As Orton finally rolled out of the ring, the damage was already done. Sami was laid out. Officials rushed down. The crowd was still buzzing, trying to process what they had just witnessed. And Orton? He didn't look back. Not once. He just walked up the ramp like it was another day at the office. That's what makes this terrifying. No remorse. No explanation. Just destruction. But the story doesn't end there. Because backstage, things started getting even more interesting. Cameras caught superstars watching the replay. Some looked confused. Others looked concerned. And a few? They looked nervous. Because if Orton can do that to Sami Zayn, what's stopping him from doing it to anyone else? Let me ask you this. If you were in that locker room, would you feel safe right now? Or would you be constantly looking over your shoulder, waiting for that one moment, that one mistake, that 1 second where Orton strikes? Because that's how he operates.
Fear.
Uncertainty.
Control.
Later in the night, rumors started spreading. Was this about rankings? Was this about a future title shot? Or was this something deeper? Some fans began speculating that Sami might have unknowingly crossed a line. Others think Orton is sending a message to someone else entirely. And here's a wild thought. What if Sami wasn't the target, but just the messenger? What if that attack was meant for someone watching backstage? Think about it carefully. Orton doesn't waste energy. Every move has meaning. Every attack has purpose. So, who's the real target? Drop your theory in the comments because this might be bigger than we think. Meanwhile, medical updates started coming in. Sami Zayn was helped out, clearly shaken, possibly injured. The fans chanted his name again, but this time, it wasn't for hype. It was concern. And that shift right there? That's what makes moments like this unforgettable. You go from excitement to shock to silence, all in a matter of seconds. That's the power of Randy Orton. But let's not forget something important. Sami Zayn is not the type to stay down. So, here's another question for you. Do you think Sami will come back for revenge? Or is this the beginning of something much worse for him? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that when Orton targets you, it doesn't end with just one attack. This could be the start of a full-blown rivalry. Or worse, a one-sided destruction. And if Sami does come back, will he be the same? Or will this attack change him? Because sometimes getting hit with an RKO doesn't just hurt your body. It changes your mindset. It forces you to adapt, to become something different, something more dangerous. But is Sami capable of that? Or is he walking straight into another trap? And let's talk about Orton's mindset for a second. This isn't the reckless Orton. This isn't the legend killer version chasing fame. This is a veteran, a master of the game, someone who doesn't need validation anymore. Which makes him even more dangerous. Because now, he fights on his own terms. No rules. No warnings. Just results. And Sami Zayn just became the latest example. But I keep coming back to that moment. That whisper. That one chilling second where Orton leaned in and said something only Sami could hear. Because that might be the key to everything. What if that whisper wasn't about Sami at all? What if it was a message meant for the entire WWE Universe? Or even worse, what if it was meant for someone watching at home? Let that sink in. Because the next SmackDown, it's going to be must-watch. Will Sami respond? Will Orton explain himself? Or will we get something even more chaotic? Because when things don't make sense in WWE, that's when they're about to explode. So don't miss what happens next. And before you go, answer this in the comments. Was Randy Orton justified in attacking Sami Zayn, or was this a straight-up act of betrayal? And who do you think is next on Orton's list? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Ring Rumble, because if this is just the beginning, we're in for absolute chaos.